Hey friends, this is Dr. David Russ in Portland. If you are recovering from a low back injury or want to prevent low back injury, or your back is tight and feels tired and you want to do some core stabilization, this is the video for you. This is safe, low impact, and we're going to bring it in around 15 minutes. So hopefully you can fit this into your day every day. Let's get started. I want to remind you that core stability is about strength, but it's also about balance, coordination, awareness, and flexibility. So we want to impart all of these things in our core stabilizing exercises and not just strength. This routine is safe for you even if you're recovering from a pretty recent injury, but I want to remind you not to work through pain. If something that we're doing here today is hurting you, stop and don't do it. You're welcome to do this at your own pace. You're welcome to pick and choose which exercises feel really good to you, the ones you want to do. But I do encourage you to come back and do this series daily if you can. 4 or 5 times a week is also great. We're going to start in this position and just windshield wiper your hips and get some movement through your lower body. If this feels really nice to you, keep doing it. You are not obligated to do this at my pace. You can pause the video, of course, whatever you want. Now we're going to work through butterflies into windshield wipers. So each hip is opening and closing separately. If your wrists get tired of holding up your upper body, definitely give yourself a break. Let's move into some gentle stretching of the back of the leg. And here you extend one leg out in front of you by sliding that heel forward and then bring it back. Slide the heel forward on the other leg and bring it back. And as your heel comes out, if you want to add to the stretch, you can pull your toes toward you and pull your toes towards you, and that'll increase the stretch into the calf, even if you're feeling it so far as to lift that heel off the mat a little bit, getting a nice activation of the front of the thigh while we stretch the whole back line of the leg. And if you're really feeling it, once you've got that heel lifted, rock forward on your hips a little bit and really bring that stretch up into the calf and the hamstring. So this might take a little coordination, but remember, coordination is what we're going for when we're doing core stability. Coordination is really the key. One more time each side. And we've got our legs just a little bit warmed up. So go ahead and lay on your back with your feet flat. So your knees will be bent a little bit, or a lot. And just take a minute to settle in here. We're going to be in this position for a little bit. Feel the base of your spine and the back of your hips. How do they interact with your mat? Are you rolled to one side or the other? Try to get that weight balanced in the center. The left side and the right side of the pelvis evenly weighted on your mat. And also check in with the soles of your feet now. You want your heels to be evenly weighted, left and right. And you can play as we do this with heels a little farther from butt and heels a little closer to butt, and see what that does and how that changes what's going on in your hips. Now come to an awareness of this little bit of space between your mat and your lower back. For some people it's more, for some people it's less, but just see what's there. There's like a little air pocket in there. And the first thing you're going to do is what we call an imprint or a pelvic tilt. I'm going to get my arms out of the way, but you should have your arms maybe just nicely folded on your belly. Here, arms here probably works pretty well. And we're going to start your imprint by gently pushing, and I mean gently, pushing the lower back into the floor and eliminating that little bit of space that was there, and then letting that go. Now there might be a temptation here to like squeeze your butt cheeks, right? Contract your glutes, there's no need to do that. And there might be a temptation here to push really hard. There's no need to do that either. All that's happening here really is that your hips are rocking, and as your hips rock, the lower part of your spine presses into your mat, and then you release. And we're going to work this about 6 or 8 times here. How much effort are you using? You want to use just like the minimum amount of effort here. Nothing excessive. Your pelvic floor is relaxed. Your breathing is easy and soft. Nothing is straining or struggling. Now on this next imprint or pelvic tilt, you're going to hold. And now we are holding our pelvic tilt, and we're holding just a little bit of tone in our abdominals. See if you can key into the fact that your abdominal muscles are a little bit awake. And see if you can key into the fact that your heels are very slightly pressing into the mat. Now we're going to shift our weight a little bit. Keep that imprint. Shift your weight more into the left heel and pick up the right leg and set it down. And then shift the weight into the right heel, pick up the left leg and set it down. And let's just walk like this for a few. Just like this. And the key here is that you are holding your imprint. You're holding your pelvic tilt. So your lower back stays really nicely connected to the mat. And you're not struggling or straining here. We're just really teaching the hips and the quadriceps to work with a nice, stable, supported, neutral lower back. For the next step, as you lift the right leg, hold it up and see if you can lower it down without losing your pelvic tilt. Now, as I do the left leg, I'll get my arm out of the way. I will exaggerate for you what happens when there's not enough stability in the low back. As the leg comes down, the low back arches and comes way off the mat. Now, I'm exaggerating how much this happens. In real life, it happens like maybe this much. But that much is too much. We want to get our imprint and be able to raise and lower the leg without losing the imprint. So see how low you can get your leg. And when you're just starting out and you're just starting to regain core stability, then you might not be able to lower it very far, maybe just a few degrees. But the secret is that if you keep it up, within a couple of weeks, you'll be able to lower it a lot more. And pretty soon, before you know it, you'll be touching that heel to the floor, nice and slow and controlled, with your lower back staying really stable. This is such an incredibly important skill for your lower body to have, to maintain a supported, neutral spine in a relaxed way while your hips move. Our next piece is to do a little bit of bridging, so release your imprint, rock your hips back and forth a little bit, get a little bit of motion in there. Not motion, but motion. And when you're ready, go ahead and go into your imprint and release. Imprint, release. On this next imprint, hold. Press your heels into the mat and lift your butt. Doesn't have to be far, just a little bit. Lower it down, back to your imprint position, and then release. Again, imprint. Press through your heels. Lift your butt off the mat. Feel these glutes and hamstrings engaging. See if you can lift a little higher and the quadriceps start to kick in a little bit. Slowly, nice and controlled. Bring that down to your imprint and release. Let's do that twice more. Imprint. Lift. You're really pushing through the heels. Most of the effort here is by a gentle push through the heels. My abdominals here are mushy. These are relaxed. We're training our body to stabilize the low back with the big, strong muscles of the glutes. Now, as you're letting it down, see if you can come down one vertebra at a time. Some of those might feel a little stiff or stuck. That's okay. Again, over time, they will let go and come through your imprint to neutral. And last time, lift. And lower from the top down, gently. So we're training our glutes here to give us a nice, easy, controlled descent. For the next piece, we're going to make it a tiny bit harder by combining a bridge and a leg lift. So imprint, lift. Feel free to use your hands on the mat to help stabilize you as you pick up one leg. Set it down. Balance back through both heels and then pick up the other leg. Set it down. If this hurts, please stop. We're just going to march a couple times like this. It is 100% awesome to be pushing through your forearms and hands to stabilize you on the mat. That's a great skill for your body to have, to use the great big strong muscles of the upper back to stabilize your torso. Let yourself down one segment at a time to your imprint and then release. We're going to do that again. This time you're going to focus on really maintaining a nice level pelvis as you lift. So imprint, come up into your bridge, lift your left foot. And look at the video. Notice that my left hip doesn't dip like this. That's because these muscles of my abdominals, boom, are strong and I'm connected to them, and that's holding my hip up. As you pick up your right foot, your right hip loses its support, so the right abdominals need to kick in order to hold you up. This is so important for the stability and strength of your core and the safety of your lower back. So we may be getting into territory that's difficult or painful. If it's difficult, take a rest and try again. If it's painful, please stop. One more time on the right side. We're going for maybe 5 or 6 reps each side. Remember to let yourself down slow and controlled, one vertebra at a time through the imprint into neutral. Awesome job. Take your time. We're going to come up into an all fours position. All fours, hands and knees. Knees below hips, hands below shoulders, hands about shoulder width apart, knees about hip width apart. Doesn't need to be exact. We just don't want your hands all the way in or your knees all the way out. We want to be on 4 stable table legs right underneath the joints that they support. And notice that what gravity wants to do is pull your low back, pull your belly toward the mat and pull your low back into this arch. Well, we're not going to let that happen. We're going to make our low back flat. You're not going to curl so much that you're gone in the other direction into the, like the cat back. We want a flat back. If there was a cup of coffee on your back, it would not spill. And we want to keep that cup of coffee there without spilling a drop as we slide one foot back and forward. The other foot back and forward. Keep going. Left. Go at your own pace. And right. And just like when we were doing the bridging with a leg lift, as your foot slides back, that hip loses support. So if the abdominals and the lower back core stabilizers don't kick in, that hip is going to drop and you're going to spill your coffee. And we don't want that. Let's do one more each side. And bring those hips back, those knees back under your hips. If you need a break for your wrists, please do, of course. We're going to change it now from the foot sliding to the hand reaching. So each hand reaches in front of you. And again, we don't want that shoulder of the reachy hand to drop down. So our abdominals, our lower back, all of our core stabilizers are kicking in. And there's nothing at work here other than you and gravity, just like in your normal everyday life. So what we are training into our bodies now is the ability to move the shoulders with a neutral, stable, relaxed spine. We're not spilling that coffee. You're going to notice that as you fatigue a little bit, your belly's maybe going to start to sag toward the floor. If that happens, hands down, recommit to that cup of coffee on your back and keep going. Now when you're ready, we want to do leg and opposite arm at the same time. This is what we call a bird dog, because you're like a pointer. Gazing at the floor, because if you're looking forward, you're going to be hyperextending your neck. We're just going to do 3 or 4 more on each side, opposite arm and leg, reaching along, not reaching for the ceiling, reaching for the wall in front of you with your arm and the wall behind you with your leg. Boom. Good job. You did it. You did spinal stabilization work with me, Dr. Russ. Please check out my channel. I've got lots of accessible, safe exercises for you to do. Also lots of videos on all kinds of different physical conditions and treatment demonstrations of what treatment should look like for various conditions. Till next time, this is Dr. Russ. I hope you're having a great day. Feel good.